Alright, so starting at the course homepage, click on Content, walk down to Getting to Know the Course, Course Information, Unit Plan Information, and then within that we have Sample Unit Plans. So we'll start with the 4th grade sample. And I'll just kind of walk you through what is in here. All of the ones that we've selected to share with you were A's. So all the students that turned these in received A's on it. And we thought they were good examples. We are asking that you do not share these with others. You don't have an exact grade for what these individuals got, but you know their names. And so don't share, respect their privacy, that kind of thing. Alright, so this just gives you an overview of the whole thing. It's nice and detailed. I think, if I remember correctly, she has a fairly long unit. I don't remember exactly how many pages, but she's very thorough, and we really appreciated that. So what happens, these daily objectives are things that you put in afterwards. So if I scroll, I'm just going to go fast, so close your eyes. Alright, so I came down to day 3. So I'm going to go back up a little bit to, let's just start on day 2. You can remove this stuff if you want, or you can leave it, it's fine. So she goes through the particular state and national standards, which, if you notice, she's got reading, writing, she's got everything there. So it means she could theoretically have taught this entire unit in her classroom because she integrated across content areas, which is what we're hoping you do anyway. So then objectives. Apply area and perimeter using platforms. So this in some ways is a little bit of engineering design, I would think. So then she talks about approaches to differentiation. That's very important in these lessons because we know that not all students learn the same way. And then she has this in the 5E format, so engage, explore, explain, extend, and evaluation. She also has examples that are embedded within this so that someone else could pick this up, take it, and teach it. And I think that's pretty important, and that's our goal for this. So we also have supplementary materials that are going to be needed in that. Then this is your checklist. Not every single assessment has to be this crazy long intensive test. Ideally, it's not going to be a test at all, because when you're trying to figure out if a garden is going to be good for the school, you can't really take a test on it. You have to go out and you have to walk it, and you have to measure it, and you have to do all of those things. So this is her rough draft of why it's good, and then the sign-off. And as they go through and complete each piece, there's a sign-off of what the teacher has, seen, done, and prescribed. Alright, so then we go all the way through day 3, and if you notice the exact same setup every time. She's got key questions that she will ask the students. All of these are ideas that will be beneficial for demonstrating their understanding of STEM, and as it relates to, gardening in the community itself. So we have more of the same information here. I'm just scrolling kind of quickly. So we've got day 6 all the way down to, oh wait, what is this? To how well the students scored. Like, this would be the rubric that she used to grade and determine whether or not they mastered this particular unit. Alright, and then 8. I'm hoping there is nothing new and unusual at the end. Alright, so one of the things that we mentioned was the annotated bibliography. Don't get scared. Don't feel overwhelmed. All we want you to do is look and see what research is out there, what exists related to the topic that you're going to teach, that you are writing up this unit for. So one of hers right here, and then she just gave me an overview of what it was. Continuing on through here, maybe the article relates incredibly well to the activity in the unit you're planning. Maybe you read it and thought, I was thinking this, but now I think it makes more sense to go a different direction. You can still use that information in your annotated bibliography. So you have to have at least 4 different things. So she has 4 on hers. And what I'm trying to get us now to see, we're going to close your eyes and we're going to go all the way back up to the top again. Alright, so desired results. All of these were pulled directly from her lesson plans. I'm not sure if you noticed that, but that's kind of the goal. And then the overarching questions, or the essential question idea of what the theme of the whole unit is. Now, this is, it looks more difficult than it is. What's going to happen, you will download the file and you will copy and paste the objectives. What's going to happen in lesson 1? Then you're going to come down here and say, okay, you're going to be able to explain to others what aspects of STEM are you truly addressing. Is it science and engineering? Is it science and math? Is it what? You don't have to address every single aspect every single time. But there needs to be a nice array across several days of what it is that you're having your students do. So that hopefully is the easiest part of this whole one for you to do. Alright, so then we have the delivery method and the context. In Learning Activity 6, we gave you time to read, to catch up on other things, but we also gave you a huge list of resources that you could go in and get a better understanding of what it's meant by the method of delivery of approach and the context of the approach. So the method is how you're doing it. The context is where you're doing it. What is the focus? What is the location, I guess? So with hers, all of hers were community and problem-based. You have to decide for yourself which one aligns more with your own thinking and what you want your students to do. So then, as we go through easy enough again, outcomes. What kind of assessment are you going to conduct here? And then the equitable access plan. That's something that you'll fill out later, as I said, but you put in the particular student. So if you notice, not every single day, every single student is being addressed. Maybe 1 and 2 require something a little higher level. So on these 3 days, they get the additional information. And maybe 3 and 4 require additional time. So that maybe that's what's happening here. So that's going to depend on your student and what you've created. Okay. All right. So I think, without diving into the equitable access plan, this should give you a pretty good idea of what we want those lessons to look like. So let's back up to the umbrella of 4th grade examples. We've already looked at the unit lesson plans. Let's dive into these other 2 files she created. Some of the things that you make are going to be larger than others, and it might be beneficial for you to create that and save it in a different space and upload it. So these are files that were uploaded to TK20, and her assessment, this is all put together on one sheet of paper. That way you can see and we can see how you're looking to make sure the students are mastering whatever content or action or activity that you want them to get as they go through here. So performance tasks, she has the checklist, formal assessments, informal assessments, and then maybe, I don't remember exactly why she had these colored, but apparently these are things that she's truly looking at for a later project, or it's included in this larger table right here. So we like seeing rubrics. We use rubrics for you, so we kind of hope you do the same thing. Now, this must be what she has. So she's included student samples, so work that the students did during this unit. You may not be able to teach the whole unit. If you can, fabulous. If you can't, that's okay. You have 1 video recorded of yourself teaching. If you happen to get data collected during that time, that would be great. We can make this work either way, okay? So this is just a nice, thorough approach to the lesson. All right, so then we're going to come back and look at her equitable access plan. So the contextual information that you filled in already, this is the basis, I guess, for making sure we're meeting the needs of all of our students, not just different learning styles, because learning styles may not actually be a thing anymore. But we do have different backgrounds. We do have different cultural understandings. So this contextual information was to introduce you and us to the direction of what your classroom looks like. Okay. Now, number 2 on that contextual information is the narratives for your EAP students. We ask that they do 4. I think you guys are only doing 3 this time. But you give us a synonym, not a pseudonym, sorry, for the student. We don't want to know their actual name. We don't want anyone else to know their name. But we do want to know about them and how you can make adjustments in your classroom to better meet their needs and make you, in most ways, a better teacher. All right, so we go through continuing all of that. Now, this is the part that sometimes looks confusing. And what this is talking about is, actually, I'm going to pause here and I'm going to give you another video because I think that will be more helpful broken down.